In this video, I'm going to share with you a superpower that your brain has that when you're aware of it, you can use it to create the reality you really want. In fact, this secret helped me go from an average athlete to making a world championship. I'm going to be sharing how it works and how you not knowing and understanding it can actually work against you. If you watch until the end of this video, you are going to understand how to easily implement this superpower to create the momentum to make this year completely different from anything you've ever experienced. I'll be sharing with you easy to understand examples as well as practical explanation of how you can start today to implement this secret hidden power. So let's get started. The first thing you got to understand is how your brain actually works. For so much of my life, I thought we saw with our eyes. Seems pretty simple, but in fact, we don't see with our eyes. We actually see with our mind. And more important than that, our mind is conditioned. All your synaptic connections have been shaped from the experiences of your past. So that means your current reality right now, you might think, no, Abby, the same thing keeps happening over and over. So it's showing me that I'm actually not good enough, that I actually am not worthy. Because if I was worthy, I would see those experiences. Those things would be drawn to me. But you've got to understand that it is your past that has created your mind. And through that conditioning or through that program, that is what you're able to perceive of. Understand that beyond your conscious awareness, which is your ability to be aware of what's going on right now, beyond that, your subconscious is getting between 20 to 50 million bits of information per second, and your memory is actually scanning through those bits of information primarily to understand what keeps you safe, who are you, and that's all you're actually able to perceive of in your life right now. So the love of your life, a secure, loving relationship could exist, but all you can perceive of is heartbreak, is rejection. And if you had an emotionally unavailable parent, if you had your emotions not observed or your experience just wasn't considered, you will be attracting and recreating that same lack of emotional consistency. The same could go for money. If your past looked like you had to work really, really hard and struggle and barely your family was able to stay above water, but maybe perhaps your family was really well off and you're like, well, why do I have a problem with money? Because money could actually be representing a resource or a need that you can't have access to. You don't perceive that you can get what you need unless something outside of you gives you that or gives you permission or that validation, which could be representing how your needs were originally not met as a child, even if your parents or caregivers had the best of intentions. All this matters is how you perceived. What was your inner experience? That is what has shaped your synaptic connections, which is what you're looking through, which is all you're going to be able to find in your outside world. It's important you understand this because for so much of my life, I looked at my world and I thought, man, I have so much work to do. How am I going to create this life that I want to experience when my current life looks completely different than what I'd really like to experience? Well, starting to understand that I don't have to create anything. All I need to do is start to understand, oh, I'm energetically recreating the past. So I need to start becoming aware of this system so that I can start energetically disconnecting that cord. So the second part of this, before I give the big reveal on this superpower your brain does, which is absolutely unbelievable, but is to understand that your state of being is what you are seeing in your outside world right now. And what is your state of being? Your state of being, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, are your thoughts, which are the electrical component, as well as your feelings, which are the magnetic aspect. Now, your thoughts and your feelings in combination send out an electromagnetic signature, which in Dr. Joe's work shows that that is what is getting reflected back in your outside world. So often what I experience when I talk to people or when I get feedback is, they've got their thoughts on board. They don't let any kind of negative thought come up. They do a lot of affirmations, a lot of visualizations. So the mental part, they're doing all the work on. But the biggest part here is the lack of ability to consistently shift the feelings. And what is the feelings? The feeling is the magnet. A lot of people struggle here because they think that they can override their subconscious with their conscious thoughts. Remember, your subconscious rules 95% of your life after the age of 35, and it rules most of your life before that date. Your subconscious will always override your conscious desire unless they're on the same page. So unless you have both of these, you can never fake your feelings, because again, this is all about energy, and energy does not lie. Another way you can think about this is your thoughts and your feelings are what are producing your vibrational frequency. Now, if you think about this as a floor on a skyscraper in New York, whatever this combination of frequency is, that's what floor you're going to have access to. So the same equal energy you're going to have in your experiences. And again, these are coming primarily, unless you've done a lot of healing work to release these feelings, these are going to be primarily coming from your early on experiences. Watching this video is going to help you get more conscious, bring awareness, and Neville Goddard says that is the first step. Awareness is like a flashlight in a dark room. You want to be aware of what you're really feeling subconsciously, because that is really what is dictating your entire life. Now, Carl Jung even mentioned this in one of his quotes that I love, which I'll paraphrase, and he said, until you make conscious, until you become aware of really what you're feeling about yourself, not what you're layering on top of this and wanting to feel, but what you really feel about yourself and resolving it, until you do that, your unconscious will drive the bus of your life. It will be making the decisions in the moments. It will be reacting when you get triggered. So realizing your thoughts and your feelings are your state of being, and whoever it is that you're being is what you're going to get a reflection of. Now, the third part about this, before I reveal that superpower your brain possesses to help you to create the life you really love, is to understand feelings are the language of your subconscious mind. So again, your subconscious mind, heavily dictated and influenced from the past, it is ruling your life, and it is the lens you're looking through. It is all those programs from your past, what you could still be living through right now. Specifically, if you continue to get a repeated pattern. My pattern was I kept finding emotionally unavailable people. I kept finding available, unavailable, it's good, it's great, no, it's terrible, and just absolutely roller coaster emotional situations, because I had unconscious meanings I put on why situations happened to me in the past. Only when I became aware with my conscious mind and I started to re-reason, which changed the way I felt about it, changed the way I felt about myself, was I able to speak to my unconscious, let go of the old energy, and step in to that new way of seeing myself, which brings me to the superpower. Now that you understand that it is actually your brain's ability to perceive that is creating your reality right now, and how powerful feelings are, specifically having new feelings to create the ideal reality that you really deserve. Now I want to share with you the superpower that your brain has, and that is something called mirror neurons. And a mirror neuron is a cell inside your brain that responds the same whether you perform a specific action or if you simply observe someone performing an action. This was first observed in monkeys when they were wearing electrodes and somebody started peeling a banana. The monkey that was just sitting there, not doing anything, but had the electrodes on their brain, having it scanned, their brain lit up the same as if they were peeling that banana. Now, I know that you're not trying to manifest or create a life of bananas, but think about the implications that these neurons could have and how you can start to utilize them to create the reality you really want. This is going to allow you to energetically attune to what they're experiencing, because it's one way your brain has to help you stay connected and socialize. And when I was an athlete, I would watch hours and hours of other people who were throwing at a higher level than me. I remember feeling in my body when I was watching them compete. I was having these micro experiences that I've never actually physically done, but when I watched them and their intentions and watched them go through these motions, I was able to feel that in my body. And remember, the feelings are the language of your subconscious. So one huge thing you can start doing to influence your subconscious so that it gets on board, so you can start letting go of those old outdated mechanisms, is to start influencing and feeding it and show yourself the behaviors, who you want to emulate. Again, not from comparison, they have it, I don't. But what would that feel like? Watch them, allow your mirror neurons to actually create that map of the neurological patterns that they're having in their brain, but you also can have. And realize this also works the opposite way. When you're watching movies, when you're watching shows, what kind of energy are they experiencing? You'll experience it inside your body as well. Who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? Is it a lot of people who you share a lot of similar experiences where nothing ever works out for them? Everyone always leaves them. You don't have to completely disregard and shut everyone out of your life, but be aware of the energy. Be aware that that exposure is actually creating those feelings inside of you too. The more you start to become aware, what are you allowing and exposing and fueling your mirror neurons with? Is it helping you? Or is it actually recreating a situation and emotions you no longer want to experience? Again, you don't have to do anything dramatic and cut somebody out of your life. However, how can you be more aware of what you're being influenced by? The more and more you build that new feeling state as your default, the more and more those other states won't matter as much, because you're building this momentum. You'll start changing those beliefs. You'll start creating that and attracting disconfirming experiences. In my life, that was attracting somebody into my life because I had done this work, because I had started to let go of old beliefs. I attracted somebody who was emotionally available because I changed my standard with myself of what I believed I deserved, as well as I became emotionally available to myself. So that was represented in a disconfirming experience, which allowed me to then grow even deeper in this understanding and these feeling states, which then drew in more and more situations that were in that new energy. Your thoughts and feelings are what you're going to get a reflection of. How can you use your mirror neurons to start attracting that life that you really want to experience, and start being aware of what you no longer want to feed your subconscious, and become more aware of what energy influences you're having. If you want some more help on how to let go of those lower level emotions, this next video right here is going to break it all down. Thank you for watching. If you haven't joined, come on over here and join this community. I love y'all, and I will see you on the next one.